is Amna Mahmood, and for this assignment, I will be discussing two legal cases and comparing the legal implications. Now, the first case involves a teacher doing a chemistry experiment that exploded into flames and injured some students. The second case has to do with a teacher who sent inappropriate sexual explicit text messages to a student. Now, both cases are different in terms of their circumstances. However, later on, I'll be explaining how both have violated the same charter rights and laws of the Education Act. In the first case, Shelley Fernandez de Burris, a teacher of the Dufferin Peel Catholic District School Board, offered to demonstrate a chemical experiment to students in a lab. She added a chemical to a burning flame that suddenly ignited in flash. She then threw or dropped the flame container, causing the fire to spread. This was not intentional, though. However, none of the students were asked by Ms. Burris to wear safety goggles, gloves, or protective clothing. In addition, some students were watching a movie and not paying attention. The member and the board were charged under Ontario's Fire Code. Both plead guilty and were ordered to pay fines. The discipline committee found Ms. Burris guilty of professional misconduct and ordered that she appear before it immediately after the hearing to receive a reprimand. I chose to look into this case because as a future educator, I will also be performing lab experiments with students, and we always need to be reminded that the safety of the students is at first. In my high school experiences, I remember most of my teachers being very cautious when performing such tasks, but at times some of them did not pay attention to the whole class and did not see how careless students can get with materials. As an Ontario teacher, I would want to know the decisions made with such accidents and would like to put an emphasis on safety procedures within classrooms. As for allegations and decisions made by the court, Ms. Burris was found guilty of professional misconduct and is incompetent as defined in subsections 30 of the Ontario College Teachers Act. She failed to maintain standards of profession. She abused students psychologically or emotionally / physically. She failed to supervise adequately a student or students who were under her professional supervision. She displayed a lack of knowledge and disregarded for the welfare of her students. So she was regarded as unfit to carry her professional responsibilities, and her certificate should or might be under limitations. In comparison to the second case, David Andrew Wren sent inappropriate and sexual explicit text messages to a student, and knowing that it was unacceptable, he asked that she delete those messages. He also made inappropriate and lewd remarks containing sexual content to the students in class, which made her feel uncomfortable. Mr. Wren's allegations proved that he failed to maintain the standards of profession. He abused a student or students verbally. He abused a student psychologically or emotionally. He also abused student or students sexually or engaged in sexual abuse of a student as defined in Section 1 of the Act. He also failed to keep records as required by his professional duties. I chose this case because I've seen and heard many cases where the teacher is being inappropriate with his or her student. In fact, almost a year ago, I found out my grade 10 and 11 math teacher from high school was being charged for maintaining a sexual relationship with a student of his, and it came to a surprise to me because he was an amazing teacher. But in such cases, I want to know more about the legal implications and how the court came up with penalties and decisions. In both of these cases, the teachers had violated the standards of profession, therefore lacked professionalism. This is an indirect violation of the professional standards of teaching. As outlined in the standards of practice, teachers are not only educators but role models as well and must uphold the highest standard of respectful and responsible behavior. This is from Provincial Code of Conduct, PPM 128. Both teachers did not set a good role model figure because of their lack of professionalism and carelessness. Now, under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms Act, both teachers have also violated the legal rights, which is number 7, everyone has a right to life, liberty, and security of the person, and the right not to be deprived, therefore expect in accordance with the principle of fundamental justice. According to legal right, the students in both Mr. Wren's and Ms. Burris' class did not feel secure, therefore causing emotional, physical, and psychological distress. In Ms. Burris' case, the panel stated that she could have been taking necessary steps to ensure the safety of her students. The member failed to ensure that the students were reasonably protected from the risks, which is true. Ms. Burris should have followed the safety procedures and have asked the students to wear proper safety garments. In Mr. Wren's case, he violated Section 265(1)(a) of the Criminal Code, which states that a person commits an assault when, without the consent of a person, he applies force intentionally to the person or directly or indirectly. I say this because, according to the case details, the students did not feel comfortable when Mr. Wren was making sexual comments and gestures in class, and also he had asked one of the students to delete those messages. The student did not feel safe, and without the student's consent, Mr. Wren had started to make such comments and gestures in class, which is unacceptable. In Mr. Wren's case, the Children's Aid Society investigated, and as a result of a thorough assessment, they felt that having him in such a position is a risk, and his employment with the board was terminated. For Miss Barrows, there was no criminal charges. However, she had professional misconduct against her. As per court decision, within 120 days of the date of the order of the discipline committee, she shall enroll in a successfully complete at her own expense a course of instruction pre-approved by the registrar regarding classroom management and the emphasis on supervision of classroom safety. It's very interesting to see two different cases and the decisions made upon both. However, as a future educator, I strongly believe that no matter what situation, teachers should always uphold the standards of profession and affirm it in the right manner. Thank you.